Good morning. I'm going to call the meeting to order. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please join with me this morning for a moment of silence. Thank you. We'll start with the approval of minutes from the June 23rd, the 23rd working session, the 25th workshop, and the 25th working session.
I make a motion we approve the June 2023-2026 minutes and working session minutes, and June 25th, 2026 workshop and working session minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We've approved the minutes from those 23rd and 25th working session and workshops. We have no request for public comment on agenda items this morning, but we do have a number of action items before the commission. The first being Commission Order 2026169 is the execution of a city's readiness initiative program contract with the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services.
I make a motion we approve Commission Order 2026 TAC 169.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. You've approved 2026-169. Next is Commission Order 2026-170 is the overplus land sales back taxes to Blonde B LLC.
I'll make a motion we approve.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. You've approved 2026-170. Next is 2026-171, authorizing the execution agreement for GovWorks for subscription to CommsCoach, Hire, Train, and Sims Bundle for the Franklin County 911 Communications Department.
Make a motion we approve Commission Order 2026 TAC 171.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. You've approved 2026-171. Next is Commission Order 2026-172, authorizing the execution of a value lease agreement with GFI Digital for the Franklin County Clerk's Office.
I'll make a motion we approve.
I second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. You've approved 2026-172. Next is Commission Order 2026-173. That is reappointing John Chatham, to the Franklin County Scenic Regional Library District Board.
I'll make a motion we approve.
I'll second, with a caveat that I believe we have 2 openings on that board. So if anyone's interested in getting on that board for the library, I think it's important. a reflection of the county. We need a good overall reflection, because my understanding is it's not they don't have to come from certain parts of the county. They can all come from one place, So if someone's interested, it'd be nice for, to get a mix of the county and to show our, a good representation of the county on this library board. Because I'm not sure that it's there right now, and there is 2 openings. But with that, I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We've approved 2026-173. We have a years of service recognition this morning. Corporal Dara Bowles in 5 years of public service this morning. You are going to have to come up and get your picture taken. This time we will begin the public comments on items that are not listed on the agenda this morning. I will remind everyone of the process. I'm certain you're familiar. When we get to 15 seconds, I will give you a small rap of the gavel to let you know that your time is getting ready to expire. The first person on the list this morning is Ann Hayden. Good morning.
Morning.
Okay. For the record, I'm opposed to the rezoning of land for a data center. Okay, so we are not anti-tech. We are anti-big tech land grabs. We are anti-NDAs. Again, if the data centers are such a great idea, why is there so much secrecy surrounding them? Why the NDAs? Why the non-transparency? Why don't our questions get answered? Why does big tech seem to be more important than we the people? We the people who live here, work here, pay taxes here, own land here, raise our families here, care for the community. We are anti-air pollution, we are anti-water contamination, and we are anti-noise pollution. We are also anti-rural life destruction. And I wanted to add, having nothing to hide is never a good reason to be okay with being tracked everywhere we go. And from Benjamin Franklin, those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. So I implore you, please, please stop the misuse of our land and our resources. We all have to have water, clean water to drink. Do the data centers need it? Maybe. But do they need it more than us? I don't think so. Listen to we the people, because we're who you're supposed to be working for. Thank you.
Thank you for comments.
Thank
Next, we have Jeff Hayden.
So you know what the people of Bowles and Calvi Township want. The real question is, are you going to respect the people or the politicians and the proposers? Don't rezone Franklin County for permitting data centers. There's a real threat to our national security through contamination of our drinking water by data centers. The proposers are all LLCs, so they're limited liability. So what happens when something seriously goes wrong? Who's liable then?
Thank you for your comments. Next, Jim Roberts.
Good morning.
Good morning, Jim.
Hey, Dave, I just want to recognize you for coming out to my farm to see the pollution on June 2nd. I mean, you've seen the catastrophe firsthand. Blows my mind you were able to show up in your personal vehicle, whereas these two guys can't even show up in a Franklin County paid vehicle. And I do want to set the record straight, Paul. You made a comment on Elliot Davis's Facebook post. I never did tell you to drink that leachate sample I brought in, and I sure as hell did not slam it down. So, I mean, that makes you a liar. So, for nearly 2 years, this issue has been treated like a Jim Roberts problem. It is not. This is not about my property. It's not about my family. This is about contaminated runoff leaving an abandoned landfill, entering a creek, and moving toward the Merrimack River watershed. Contamination does not stop at a fence line. Leachate does not stop at a property line. And water does not stop because county government is waiting on a grant. Every week, this commission hears residents raise concerns about potential environmental risks from new industrial development. Those concerns matter, but this landfill is not hypothetical, it is not a future risk. This is a documented contamination already affecting land and water in Franklin County. And that raises a serious question. If Franklin County will not clearly address a known environmental problem that already exists, how can the public trust the county to regulate, enforce, and protect us from future environmental risks? I recognize that Franklin County has applied for the EPA Brownsfield grant, but a grant application is not a cleanup plan. So today I'm asking one question. If that grant is denied, what is Franklin County's plan? And if that answer today is simply thank you for your comments, then let the record show that Franklin County was asked directly in public. What is the plan for the documented contamination affecting land and water in this county? And Franklin County chose not to answer because after 2 years, this is no longer a question of ownership. It is no longer a question of liability. It is no longer a question of whether contamination exists. The real question is whether Franklin County is willing to acknowledge that this is a community problem and not just a Jim Roberts problem. The contamination has not waited, the watershed has not waited, and the public has waited long enough. What is Plan B? Thanks.
Thank you, Jim. Next, Rhonda Brackett.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm submitting a letter that was written to Governor Kehoe by Representative Don Mayhew, signed by 15 other representatives, including John Simmons of the 19th, I think it's the 109th district, which I understand is the district for this area. This letter was to urge a special session for the Missouri General Assembly to address concerns surrounding the development of large-scale data centers. As I understand, Governor Kehoe declined to meet with them in September, but I am thinking that this could change. I'm sure that you are aware of the upset in Utah, where in the recent election, politicians that had been in for years were voted out, largely due to the Box Elder data center controversy. That could well happen here in Missouri. We have expressed our concerns about the hyper data centers, and we really don't want them, so I'm urging you, please say no. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
Darlene Hogue.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Society's job future is grim. It is difficult for working people to make ends meet, pay their bills, put food on the tables for their families, etc. It is difficult to accomplish the American dream. You know, the dream of everybody having the ability to buy property and own their own home. Every state resident, citizen, and constituent in America speaking out against economic hardships, environmental hazards, and health threats by hyperscale data centers. Developers have come in under the darkness of non-disclosure agreements and are raping all citizens of the American dream. These developers have gobbled up every piece of acreage, no land available for sale to the average American. Why? For what? After the construction of these water-guzzling, energy gluttonous data centers are completed, there is no large-scale employment. Only 24/7, 365 days a year, continuous screaming noise, vibrations through the ground, destruction and pollution of water, and massive power usage, extreme air pollution, increase in the atmosphere air temperatures, and unbelievable health risk for every citizen, every person, young, old, and in between. You will not be living next door to these facilities, however, you will be affected by them as well. You may escape the extreme noise, but pollution does not stay in one place. I hope that you will remember all the numerous amounts of personal research submitted in paper documentation and presented to each of you by professional people in multiple fields of educational degrees and in all areas of life-sustaining fields: water, electric, air, soil, health, and yes, even wastewater. Please take a stand against hyperscale data centers and stand up for us, your citizens and constituents of Franklin County. Please say no to hyperscale data centers in Franklin County, Missouri. Do not destroy all the beautiful landscape communities, outdoor leisure, and tourism our area offers. Thank you. And I have documentation I'd like to submit.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, Twyla Ashworth.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Maybe a little too close to that. Data center developers are increasingly putting nearby communities at risk. Water usage, energy usage, noise and light pollution, and environmental health concerns are encouraging people to speak out across the U.S. against data centers. Hyperscale data centers can consume up to 5 million gallons per day, equivalent to the water use of a town populated by 10,000 to 50,000 people. With larger and new AI-focused data centers, water consumption is increasing alongside energy usage and carbon emissions. The rapid expansion of hyperscale data centers complexes are threatening our freshwater supplies. Only 3% of Earth's water is freshwater, and only 0.5% of all water is accessible and safe for human consumption. Freshwater is critical for food production and human and animal survival. On average, a human being can live without water for only 3 days. Increasing drought and water shortages are reducing water availability. Just look at the western states. They have extreme water shortages. That is why these data center developers want to move into the heartland of America. Not only do data centers use massive amounts of water, so too the electrical power plants also use massive amounts of water with which to power these data centers. Together, the nation's 5,426 data centers consume billions of gallons of water annually. A 2021 report estimated that U.S. data centers consume 449 million gallons of water per day and 163.7 billion gallons annually. Even more concerning, a report found that fewer than 1/3 of data center operators track water consumption. Water consumption is expected to continue increasing as data centers grow in number, size, and complexity. The facts speak clearly. We cannot continue to put this kind of stress on our water resources. As I stated earlier, only 3% of Earth's water is fresh water, and only 0.5, not 5%, but 0.5% of water is accessible and safe for human consumption. We cannot afford to take a back seat and say we'll fix it later or tell the community water depletion will never happen. Once our water resources are depleted and the earth can no longer sustain itself, none of that money that is being promised will do anyone any good, including you. Think about the impact that your decision will make on the lives of all people across Missouri and our bordering states. You will not be exempt either from the impact and fallout. Vote no on these data centers and on the new land use regulations. The new land regulations do not protect our water, environment, health, and safety of residents and our property values. Thank you.
Thank you, Darlene.
Thank you.
Was that Darlene? Was that you? No, that was Twyla. I'm sorry. Lost my place. Okay. Janine Kreider.
Good morning.
Good morning.
On October 1st, 1946, the verdict on 22 defendants who were former Nazi leaders were indicted and tried as war criminals for their conduct by the International Military Tribunal. The defendants at Nuremberg trials often used the Nuremberg defense, claiming they were just following orders from superiors and thus should not be held responsible for their actions. However, the tribunal rejected this defense, asserting that obedience to unlawful orders does not absolve individuals of accountability for war crimes. We, the citizens of Franklin County, have not only voiced our opposition to industrial expansion in a residential area and in the vicinity of elementary schools, but we have provided this board with overwhelming evidence supporting our concerns. Concerns that are grave in the light of the unlawful dismissal of an environmental impact assessment. You, Dave Schatz, Ken Cox, and Paul Overschmidt have received more than enough information to conclude this determination by minding the welfare of the citizens you swore an oath to serve over the greedy interests of developers, manipulative landowners, or promises of lucrative gains. The vote would unquestionably and most ethically be a no vote, where you should then move forward in unity with the citizens, outlining clearly the intent to preserve the tranquility of Franklin County, thus encouraging the continued migration of those seeking a county feel while living 45 minutes from St. Louis jobs and entertainment. Yet, on the early morning of October 16th, 1946, shortly after the conclusion of the Nuremberg trials, prominent members of the political and military leadership of Nazi Germany were executed by hanging. Many feel this is an illegal war perpetrated on American soil and its people, a coup to override the framework of the federal government and its 3 individual branches. By unlawful powers ignoring the majority, which is over 70% of Americans, and under tyrannical control, this regime has stripped us of what is rightly ours as defined in the Bill of Rights under the United States Constitution. When the irreparable destruction is completed and more Americans grow intolerant of these unlawful actions, there indeed will be accountability required. This is where we will once again remind those responsible for carrying out this staged attack that no one, and I mean no one, is above the law. Thank you.
Thank you. Roxanne Nicodermo.
Papers? Okay. I just wanted them to be able to read it while I spoke. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Jessica Nicodemo, and I live in Pacific. So today I come to talk about compassion. I feel like the board is lacking compassion. And I wanted to tell you some of the worst days of my life. I learned compassion at a very young age. At the age of 14, I witnessed a really bad accident. 2 young girls flipped their car 5 times in front of me and were ejected. I had to find one of the girls in the field as I watched her fly out of her car. I learned compassion that day. It prepared me for the year after that when I seen it head on as I helped 3 young kids out of the back seat and I couldn't get their mom out. I sat there and I kept her calm while she begged to see her children. That prepared me for 6 years ago when I witnessed a shooting. I took my shirt off and I sat there with a gentleman as he had a hole in his stomach, his arm and his leg. I gave you my emails to show that I need compassion. I highlighted some areas. I'm scared. I want to be heard. I want something in return. Please consider my family, our loved ones. This feels like someone has died in our family. We're mourning, crying, supporting each other. This sucks so bad. I'm hurting. We are all scared. Please help us stay calm in the storm. This is one of dozens of emails that I just want some compassion. Understand we're all hurting in this room. That's why we come. We're looking for peace, understanding, compassion. I'm going to leave you with this. Compassion is the emotional response perceiving suffering coupled with an authentic desire to help alleviate that pain. Is it essential empathy in action, recognizing someone else's distress, stepping in to offer relief rather than just observing it? I hope you're observing it. And please have more compassion and respond. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Next is Linda Carr.
This is more impromptu than anything. I've done a lot of research. We got a lot of watchdogs up in the General Assembly watching and taking a look over everything that's taking place. Scott Fitzpatrick has already gone before the legislature and says that Missouri legislature has spent money into the ground. They have no more money. The general fund has been spent. They're using it for everything from state companies, LLCs, nonprofits. They're out of money. We have a governor who wants to push to get money. And I'm hoping that you're not going to be a part of that. He's doing everything he can, deceptively, even telling us that Missourians are stupid. I printed out Amendment 5, 27 pages. I have found all his lies. Everything is deceptive. It's going to cause lifting the John Hancock Amendment, our golden amendment in Article 10. It will lift that. It will also open the door for toll roads that we voted out. It will open the door for stopping senior tax relief. It'll open the door for so many things. But he wants the money. They want to get it back in there. It's been reported and seen, and some of it's been videoed. I mean, they wine and dine every night, spending all our money. Okay, forums, parties, and they go out millions of dollars trying to get people to believe their lies. Okay, so they'll vote for some of this stuff in because they want the money. Do you honestly think that when all this supposedly revenue, these promises are empty promises? I mean, they're empty. Do you honestly believe that this money that's supposed to come into Franklin County is going to come right to us? Really think about it. Okay, they need the money up there, and it's going to go there. They'll give us a very small smidgen amount, and then when they'll look around, this is anticipation, they're going to look around and say, well, all these different ones, they get some of them. They're going to spread the wealth. Okay, we've been doing that from the Illuminatis, all the way from the 13 families, all the way from the Masonic Lodge, everything. Spread the wealth. Really? It's all lies. Okay, they spread that little tiny bit. What will we get? And then we have the 2 townships here that are going to suffer all the devastation, okay, with no representation. which she knew many, many months ago was going to happen. We didn't get the representation for our 2 townships that's going to suffer. But everybody gets to spread the wealth and enjoy while they're suffering. Please think about where that revenue money is. Is it really going to come into us? Really? How much? Is it going to be of any benefit? And I know you're getting ready to shoot them. Okay. All right. I just want to let you know that we know we're not stupid. Okay. We know what's going on behind closed doors, some of it at least. But we also know what the legislatures are doing up there. They want money. Do you really trust them to spend our money when they open the door so they can raise taxes and everything else?
Thank you, Linda.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your comments. Next is Dana Bowers.
Good morning. Did you
Good
miss
morning.
me last week? No, I didn't think so. Let's clarify something right now. We are not overreacting. We are not causing a disruption. We are not anti-progress or development. We are anti-corruption at this point in time, and the corruption needs to stop now in Franklin County. I think you all have kind of lost sight of how local government's supposed to work according to our Constitution. You cut my mic off at 2 minutes, 14 seconds because you don't like what I have to say and how I was saying it. Take away public comment portion of the weekly meetings, arrogantly state you are graciously allowing us to speak again 2 weeks later. You say you're making modifications to a current commission order, but yet there was no discussion or vote on those changes you're putting into place. Lawful? Question mark. Then last week, you throw a temper tantrum because a resident used the word ass. Then we read in the paper that you're wanting to censor recordings of public meetings. Obviously, maybe you just don't like being held accountable for your actions and what are being said. Our constitutional rights to freedom of speech are not something you have the legal rights to control just because you get your little feelers hurt. 2 words for you: interpretation, discrimination. Please, gentlemen, I implore you to look it up. Mark. There are numerous cases where local officials have tried to suppress the voices of the people, and in a court of law, the individual voices have always conquered the tyrannical government officials. Your rules cannot supersede our constitutional laws. Please stop trying to retaliate and use temper tantrums as a deflection as to why we all keep showing up to every meeting and speaking out. Only those that fear transparency choose to try and stifle free speech. It's an insult to those of us born-again Christians when you sit there, Dave, and you say you attend a Baptist church and you're a Christian, but yet your actions are proving otherwise. Humanity trumps governmental control and money. There are 349 million people in the United States, Dave. You, sir, are nobody in comparison to anyone else. We are all the same. If you don't like what we have to say, it doesn't matter. It's your job to sit there and listen to us. One thing I do have to say about the data centers. We should not have to keep providing you with all the information proving these infrastructures don't belong here. The developers and yourselves should be providing this county with documented factual information that it's not going to harm us. But then again, we as residents know that's not possible. Information you've received over the last several months, you should have read. That actually comes not just from the people who live here, but actual professionals who live in our community. They've compiled evidence from current existing AI hyperscale data centers throughout the nation. We, the people, have seen nothing from the developers. I would like publicly for you to identify the current procedural status of these applications. Is the record closed? Is it still open for written evidence? Has the matter been
Dana, your
tabled,
time has expired.
continued, remanded, or placed on future agenda?
Thank you for your
the
comments.
Public deserves an answer to that question.
John Rose is next.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Dear Commissioners, just for the record, I'm opposed to the hyperscale data centers. Please make the correct decision for the good health of the people of Franklin County on these hyperscale data centers. Please read the scientific hazards supplied on these data centers and rule against these devastating monsters. Please protect our citizens, our environment, our well water, our children, and the multiple species and animals that live in the rural Merrimack Valley. Protect our beautiful Merrimack River. We, the people of Franklin County, do not support data centers. I have taken many, many, many signatures against them, and I have not once encountered anyone in support of these. Please make the right decision. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Nancy Watson.
Good morning,
Good morning.
Commissioners. I continue to oppose both proposed hyperscale data centers in Franklin County for many reasons, primarily because of their locations next to residential properties and near the Shaw Nature Reserve. Today, I have brought you an article from St. Louis Public Radio. It's titled, Missouri Lawmakers Passed Nothing on Data Centers This Year. That could change. The article and podcast were published yesterday. It would take me 4 minutes and 8 seconds to read it today. So instead, I'll leave a copy for all of you. I have several questions. I realize they will not be answered today. I will call each of you in a few days for answers. Number 1, in your closed sessions, do you discuss the proposed data centers with representatives from BLH Land Holdings, aka Beltline, and Provident? Number 2, have you seen their contracts? Number 3, have you visited any of the residential properties around the data centers to understand the impact on the families living nearby? Number 4, have you considered the impact of the construction on residents? Number 5, if completed 4, 6, 10 years from now, or even when only one completed building is operating, have you studied the effects of the 24/7 hum or the effects of infrasound? Local protests, number 6. Local protests to stop the building of hyperscale data centers in residential areas have continued now for over 5 months, waiting for the state of Missouri to pass needed legislation to regulate data centers with greater transparency and regulation may come too late. Will you
Nancy,
use your authority to
unfortunately,
listen to
your
the
time has
people
expired.
now and vote no on all 4 hearings? Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is April Reisenhuber.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm a little raspy. I have scarred lungs from COVID, and so I'm really concerned about the data center, the dust and the diesel, the pollution in the air. So I'm just letting you know why I sound raspy. I'm going to read you a letter that I'm sending to the McLaren family this afternoon. Dear McLaren's family, it's my land. I can sell to whomever I want. It's my land, and I can do what I want with it as long as it's legal. You can't tell me what to do with my land. All of this is 100% true. Other than general zoning or municipal laws, we are free to do as we wish. There is one thing that isn't yours to do with no consequence, and that is harming your community neighbors, your community lifestyle, the natural resources that belong not to you, not to the government, but to every citizen in the community. If I sell my land, knowing the land is going to destroy the neighborhood and environment as the carpetbaggers take over, I sell knowing that there are neighbors who, because of the new owner, will have land that is essentially worthless because it is next to this monster. Suddenly, that one move, that one act of selling land sells out the community you lived in. Everything comes with a cost. No one can blame someone for selling their land, especially for enormously more dollars than it is worth. One may become a multimillionaire, but it comes with a cost. Being a millionaire and no longer having a community is the cost. It is kind of like the 1930s when farms were auctioned off for a penny, livestock sold for a penny. It was a community that worked together to try to save each other's farms. Our land and our homes will be worth nothing thanks to you. So do as you wish with your land. Sell to whomever you wish. Just remember, there is a community out there who will never, ever, ever forgive you. Regards. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Yeah.
That ends the public comments section of this meeting. Do we have any elected official or department reports at this time? Seeing none. Any further discussion from the commission?
Not I.
Nope.
Seeing none. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion we adjourn.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. This commission is adjourned.